Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Tea Time Thursdays with the Fox Tribes. And this is our play space in the Fox Tribe. We do and talk about anything under the sun. So we talk about gardening, parenting, money, business. And of course, in this platform, we also share about the Sunya practice. So this afternoon, we will be having that. So I'm sure all of you here is interested to learn more about the Sunya. Or if you are new, this is also very perfect for you because this is all about the intro to Sunya. So I hope you have your tea or coffee ready because this is a tea time Thursday, but you could also have your own beverage, whatever that is for you or whatever is fun for you. Um, and what beverages do you have right now? So yeah, what else is possible for this afternoon? And I know you've been waiting for her to share to us about the introduction of Sunya. And I know she prepared a different kind of module. Uh, we are all part of the Sunya Council, most of us here, and I'm sure you share the intro to Sunya differently to people because it's gonna be, I mean, wala naman tayong super structure in the Sunya introduction. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce to you our facilitator speaker for this afternoon. Her name is, so later na lang pala ang name. She is an Access Bars practitioner, also a graduate of Go Coaching, with she's also a life coach, and she is a Sunya Council guide here in the Philippines, and of course a Sunyati. She does and do she practices Sunya daily, and of course she is an accounting graduate by profession, and she does a lot of things. She currently manages the service center of DXN Davao and DXN Tagum. She's the one behind the purchasing, inventory, and all of that. So she's also at the same time a creative artist. But this afternoon, she will share to you one of her tools that I am sure, is a contribution to her, which is the intro to Sunya. Without further ado, I introduce to you Darlene Faith Suelto, aka Bubbles. Welcome.
Thank you, Ate Christine, for that awesome introduction. Hi, everyone. So, before I officially start, I would also like to honor and acknowledge the people who are here in the Zoom call because this is a Zoom call and who chose to be here and learn Sunya with us more. Although this is an introduction, I realized while making this module actually that I skipped through a few things when Dr. Lim talked about it. So, yes, welcome. And to the future people who will be seeing this, I hope this will be a contribution to you as well. So, yes, I will share a screen of the module. Share. So, here it is. So, yeah. So, Sunya. Yeah. This is also so you may have heard so Sunya, you may have heard us on our personal social media accounts, on our pages, and in person how we gush about Sunya and how it has helped us to get through whatever is happening in our inner world and our outer world. So today we'll be talking more about it and how you may also incorporate it in your lives. So first, what is the word Sunya? Okay. Okay, so what is the word sunya? So sunya comes from the Sanskrit word sunyata that actually means emptiness. So in Malay and Indonesian languages, it is also the root word for sunyi, which means calm and quiet, and senyap, meaning no sound and also means quiet. So sunya is a tool. I call it a tool because you can either choose to use it or not. So we are always given the free will to choose. That's why this is a tool. So you can choose to use it or not. So it is a tool because it assists in carrying out a particular function. So in this case, Sunya is a tool that I use to reset my mind through reverse counting. So, but actually, for me, Sunya is more than that. it actually gave me more than that. And but I leave that up to you to explore what Sunya, or what Sunya is for you, and how it will contribute to you if you practice it. So now we know what the word comes from and what it means. So what does it actually empty and quiet? Mm, you might be wondering. So, well, to have a better picture of the practice and what it does, I will introduce you to the handphone analogy. This handphone analogy was actually given by Dr. Lim through one of his through his first episode of his Sunya Talks. And so yes, the handphone analogy to explain or to understand better what Sunya is. So we all have handphones, right? Like you can comment one if you do and two if not. But basically we all have handphones, right? So we all know that modern handphones now have sleek, black, and buttonless screens. So when it's turned off, it's nothing, right? There's nothing there. It's just a black screen. But when you actually turn the screen on, it is actually everything. So it has everything you need. It is a phone, a text messenger, a camera, an audio recorder, a video recorder. It actually also holds your, like, it's like a mini laptop also. So it actually has everything. So when you empty your mind like the sleek black cell phone screen, you actually release the power and potential and actual capacities of your mind, which gives you everything. So that's the power of, that's one reason why we empty our minds, to release the power of, to release our actual capacities. And the mind we're talking about here, I would also just like to um, emphasize or also define what the mind we are talking here about. It is about, it is beyond the physical human brain. So the mind here is something that I also call awareness. So because maybe, just like me, some people might automatically relate the mind as the brain, the physical brain. So it's the mind beyond that brain. So we're talking about the awareness. And to some, it is relatable to intuition. So it's something you know without having any point of reference or explanation as to why you know something. It just makes sense. So yun yung that's what we are talking about here when we talk about the mind. So, for example, how you know how to operate something without any guide, like how an app works or a new phone works. Most often, we don't read manuals. So, I hope you have a better knowing of what the mind we're talking about here now is. So, let's go back to the phone. So, the second handphone analogy is, so the phone also, when we use it for long periods of time and without rest, and keep saving, downloading, opening apps. And what happens to your phone when it has too much information in it? Yes, you've guessed it right. It actually hangs up. So just like our minds, we use it endlessly. We are bombarded by endless types of information. So the kind of information that our mind actually accumulates is beyond just yung data, like information document, it's beyond that. We actually accumulate feelings, emotion. We perceive thoughts, feelings, emotions, and points of view, as well as pain from everyone, everything. So that's um but they're just information that gets stuck there because we're that how do you because that's how it works. And is there a moment in our lives where our minds stop thinking? You might be asking that in your heads. Kano sa ba, is there a moment na in our lives where we're alive na we stop thinking? So the answer is a no. We never stop thinking. So maybe you're asking, bisag natulog? Yes. Even when we're sleeping, your mind is thinking. It's only when you're dead, according to Dr. Lim, that we don't use our minds to think anymore. So when the mind hangs up because of too much information, it is when worry set in. And so this is the part where when for the mind, when it has too much information, this is where we start to feel anxiety and worries, and depression kicks in. A person also acts weirdly, like and he loses temper quickly, and may have or choose uncontributing relationships with people and even their families. So this is my also my gauge, or gauge for when I am not um when I am when I have too much and I have not reset my mind. So this is my gauge. So I lose temper quickly. I make small things into significant big things and be cranky, you know that. So like, you know, when when I feel like I want help but don't say I want help, but then I get mad all on my own. So I make my own universe and make it so, you know, crappy. So, yeah, I know people have those moments. So that's my gauge that I am perceiving so much. I want to do a lot of things but don't do it. So that's my gauge of having my mind having or needing reset because it's hanging up. So what do we do? Much like the phone, good news, we can reset it. So how did we get so lucky, right? We can stop all functions and restart or reboot our minds by reverse counting. So some people, when they have a troublesome mind, they go and turn to alcohol to get drunk, they smoke hash and get high, or sometimes dance wildly to get lost. And these are their ways of emptying their mind. So for that moment, when they're drunk, when they're high, or when they're out of their minds, out of their minds, they actually they empty their minds. But the question is, will this help them when they're sober now, when they don't drink anymore or don't have the high, or they're not dancing anymore? Will those help? So the answer is no. It actually makes the mind worse, and the trouble and suffering actually comes back because we did not um, and the trouble and suffering will come back with a vengeance. So it feels much more significant and real, and they go back to drinking more and becomes a loop. So we smoke more wilder dances and etc. and becomes a vicious cycle. And maybe to some it's called an addiction. So that's the way that's the way some people actually empty their minds. And I think by now you've taken note the importance of resetting the mind, and what a troublesome mind has the capability to do, and what people resort to just so they can empty their minds. So the importance so actually some of these are some of the benefits of resetting the mind, and that is actually also boosts our immune system aside from supporting our mental health. And yeah, and choosing greater. So that's what Sunya's benefits are. And how does Sunya fit in all I have said? So Sunya, as I said, is a tool that helps me reset my mind daily. So gina-emphasize na ko ang word na daily. We emphasize the word daily because parehas sa phone charge, we charge it right when it's kanang when it runs out of batteries, we recharge it. So sometimes we even recharge it once more than once a day because we run out of batteries. By running the running out of batteries here means being bogged down by too much information. So this is now my phone charge analogy. So this is not part of what Dr. Lim said, but so this also answers the question. You may have questions like, how many times in a day will I require? Will you recommend me to do Sunya? So um, whenever you are reminded of it, or when you feel like you want to recharge, quote unquote, this is also maybe a consideration that you can do as little as a 9 to 0 Sunya session. And the important thing here in practicing Sunya is that it is done daily, because yeah, because so that your mind doesn't bug so your mind is not so it's every day that you get to reset your mind, and actually helps you to be clear every day and have no um, too much baggage from yesterday. Like you failed so much, you think you failed so much last night or yesterday, and you bring that to today, and you did not do sunya, so you feel like you're reliving the the choices of yesterday unknowingly. So yeah, that's why it is recommended to be done daily. So maybe asking also when to do it. So we recommend to do it once you wake up, but you can do it any time of the day. So for me, I sometimes do it in the evening before deciding to sleep, or sometimes when I'm too overwhelmed with chores and want to take a breather or break, I do it then also. And or during the 7-Eleven, the kind the group sunya every day, I sometimes do it on that time, or yeah, basically any time of the day, but we recommend it once you wake up. So or how long does a session take? It actually depends on your breathing and your current breathing state, because sometimes I also have really short breath. Sometimes I can do it under maybe um within a minute. So that's really 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 9 to 0 is under is over a little over a minute for me sometimes. So it's also my breathing state is also my gauge when I am not uh when I'm actually having, how do you call this? Uh, m- my mind is unstable. That is my gauge. That I need I require more attention to what I'm thinking and what I'm um, feeling or what I'm perceiving. So that's my gauge. So I think everyone here is actually already knows Sunya, but to those who are, to the people who will be watching this on record, I'll just do a short guided 9 to 0. And then for the people here on Zoom, you can just do it on your pace. You don't have to follow my inhale and exhale guided 9 to 0. And yes, so before that I would actually also explain, so that was the guide. Okay, so I would also actually explain. So these are somehow the my Sunya guidelines. So when I explain something to people who are new to Sunya, I actually explain it in this order. So I first explain the sitting position. So we get into an Indian sit on a pillow. So your butt is on the pillow. So you can do the half lotus or the full lotus. And why, and most people ask me why the Indian sit. So it's because physiologically we are always upright. We're walking always upright. By sitting this way, we reintroduce more oxygenated blood to our upper body parts, which is our heart and our brain especially. So this is also some people also experience, this is not for all, but some people experience dizziness the first time they do this or try sunya, because oxygenated blood is reintroduced to our brain and our hearts, which is not usually the case when we're because we're not always breathing like deeply or mindfully or properly. So that's why. And next is your hand position. So your hands can rest comfortably on your lap. So it can be upward facing or downward facing, yung palms ninyo. And but whatever is comfortable for you, to move voluntarily, or like voluntarily scratch and itch, or to move our facial expression, muscles, or what do you call that? Or so moving means going back to the beginning of the count. So try not to move voluntarily. So for some people, they also experience call this involuntary movements. So that's fine. Uh, yeah, so that's it's fine. And then we have our back or spine and shoulder position. So this one is your back and spine must is straight, but not too straight. So your shoulders is also relaxed, but not too relaxed. Yung position na you barely feel the weight of your spine and shoulder, like it's barely there. That's my position. That's my recommended position. Hindi yung tensed and upright, too upright, like there's tension, not that, but the one that is relaxed, that you can stay in that position for a longer period of time. So that's how we position our back and spine and our shoulders. So what would help our back or spine to actually align is the pillow that I mentioned earlier in the sitting position, in the Indian sit, or the so in the Indian sit, in the half lotus, you will require a pillow to sit on, because that will help your spine. And the full lotus is actually so stable that you don't actually need uh, a pillow to sit on. So yes. So and aside from that, what else? The breathing, we actually don't, as I mentioned, we don't regulate or control it. We just breathe normally in our natural pace. So that is what makes this practice for me so easy, because it's so gentle with its guidelines, or it's how to do it. And it's so it doesn't push anything. It's so easy, it's not time consuming. That's why it really works for me. And yeah, we just breathe normally. You don't also fret about having a short breath or long breath, or actually no, you don't feel breathing in the long run when you practice. You might find yourself not you'll find your breathing different. And yes, again, and then we come to the core practice of level 1 of Sunya, which is to reverse count. So I've mentioned a few times earlier about reverse count, but did not explain it. So we empty the mind by engaging it in reverse counting. Yes, pagbibilang ng pabaliktad. So that's the core practice of Sunya level 1. So Sunya starts with a 9 to 0 reverse count, and then we can go to a 29 to 0, a 99 to 0, and or you can do, when it's fun and light for you, a 299 to 0. So when I started practicing Sunya, actually I started with just 9 to 0 for a few days, or maybe a week, or more than that. And I no, I think I think I challenged myself and went to 29 to 0 when on my second day. And I had fun. But sometimes I still just do a 9 to 0 when nagmamadali and all that stuff, and everything's happening so fast. So that's for me. I just do a 9 to 0. And also, when you skip a day, don't be so hard on yourself. Just keep doing it the next day, and keep doing a 9 to 0 if that's fun for you. And move on if it's when you feel you'll feel when you're ready. You just know you just know it, and just go with it. So yeah, so how do we count in reverse? So one count is one set of breath. Example, it's an inhale 9 and an exhale. That's one count. Inhale 8 and exhale. That's another count. Inhale 7 and exhale. Inhale 6, exhale until you reach 0. So that's reverse counting, and that's how Sunya is or is done. And yeah, I do. Does anybody have any more questions? Like, is there any? Do I have?
Currently, none in the chat.
Oh,
But if there is someone who would like to ask a question, you can unmute yourself or ask it at the chat box.
yeah, yeah. I'm open to because of course my sister is also he. If I do so. So reverse count. What can I say about? Oh yes, I also realized. If wala pang questions, I also realized while practicing Sunya that reverse count is I did is reverse count is very kind of a natural. We cannot autopilot it. So that's my realization why we are called to reverse count, as well as it in psychology it actually calms the mind when we uh, count in reverse or pagbibilang ng pabaliktad. So when I actually count in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. How does that make you feel? Do you relax or get ready to? So for me it's relaxing, and that's the reason why we reverse count also. What else? Yes. So no, I'm not sure on the what other questions are I did not mention or is not frequently asked or frequently asked. Hmm, else? Yeah, and no questions before meals. Oh, before meals. Oh yes. Actually, this one is so there is a question here. I'll first answer a question from Ate Tina, which she is asking if can we do sunya before meals and after meals or exercise. According to Dr. Lim in his sunya talks, in one of his sunya talks, um, we we are not recommended to do sunya 30 minutes after a meal or before eating a heavy meal. He does not recommend this. And also, with regards to exercise, we are not also recommended to do sunya 30 minutes after an exercise or before going into heavy exercise. But what I also did not mention is that we actually have I think it's another session because um, it's post and pre sunya exercises. So those pre and post sunya exercises are allowed to be done before and after sunya, because they are not taxing to your body, while when you do exercise like heavy exercise, it opens up your pores, and the sweat would enter your body, so and yung hangin and all that, so it's not recommended, as well as taking a bath 30 minutes and 30 minutes before and after. And then there's a question here from Tita Lucille. So, Darl, will it be possible to go back when doing sunya and it happened that you fell asleep already, then awake again? Yes, yes, there's no right or wrong. There's not much, there's no right or wrong in the practice. When you um, when you're doing the reverse count and then you fell asleep somewhere in between the counting, or your mind wandered off, you can just go back to to the 920 or to the last number you remembered. So that's also the beauty of the Sunya practice. You can always go back to what number you remember. And I did that a lot when I practiced the first time, the 299 to 0. So I usually did that the first few months. So I might go back to the 299 to 0. So I did a 9 to 0 and then a 299 to 0. Or sometimes this currently my mode is 9 to 0, 29 to 0, and a 99 to 0, one set. And yeah, you can rearrange to whatever you feel fun and light. And then someone also asked Dr. Lim previously, from what I remember, that can they just suddenly go to 29 to 299 to 0 without going through the 9 to 0. So Dr. Lim said it's okay, but it's recommended to go with the 9 to 0 and 29 to 0. It's somehow setting the pace or like for you to have, unless you're very fast in getting into a meditative state, or your mind is so fast in like going to the state of zero that you don't need to have a 9 to 0 or 29 to 0. So yes, yes, so that's my answers to the question. And then, are there any questions? Oh, and so here I'll just read an experience by Tito Arman and Tita Merly Roa. So in our experience, we have some disturbance in our counting. It leads to other situations in our mind. It just pop up in our mind. Sometimes it distracts our counting. Yes, that's that's what the mind is so good at, Tita and Tito. And I also remind myself this because especially I get distracted by ideas like like fun ideas that to be implemented. And sometimes also things to do will pop up. So just set it aside and focus your mind to the 9 to 0. And then what I usually do is I or for most council guides, they have also a like a journal. So after the sunya, they write down all the ideas and whatever is coming up. Because Dr. Lim also mentioned previously that when we do sunya, we also, like the Ganoderma that we take, we also have this, what do you call that? Cleansing effect. So um, people might have, when I started, I still had really somehow di mo siya, it's not, I had very big outbursts, emotional outbursts. So people around you might think this person is doing meditation and she's still having emotional outbursts. So uh it's just how do you, cleaning, or yeah, it's just part of the like the detox process. So when we do sunya, we also detox, sometimes emotionally, sometimes people do it physically. So sometimes people will have will cry, or not will have tears, not really cry, but they will have tears coming out while they're doing their sunya. So that's okay, that's just part of the sunya detox. So yes, because in sunya we are aligning our mind, body, and I forgot the other one, but there's three things that we are aligning, and they're incongruence and spirit. So mind, body, and spirit, was that okay? So that's the mind. Okay, the mind, body, and spirit. So we are aligning these three. and that's why there are certain things that will come up, and that's okay. And yeah, they take what is required for your body, or assist your body with whatever it requires during that sunya. And what else is there? Anything else? If there, do you have other questions in the group, or anything I can? So my sister just giving me a heart. Okay. So she's giving me a signal to, yeah, go. And yeah, so yeah, would you guys like to do a 9 to 0 together? So I'll just, for the benefit of the people who will be seeing the recording, I will just do a guided 9 to 0, but you can do your own pace. So everyone in the Zoom and everyone who's listening and watching this, um, let's go into our most comfortable sitting position, and then close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And let's start the sunya. Inhale 9, exhale. Inhale 8, exhale. Inhale 7, exhale. Inhale 6, exhale. Inhale 5, exhale. Inhale 4, exhale. Inhale 3, exhale. Inhale 2, exhale. Inhale 1, exhale. Inhale 0 and exhale. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes and welcome forward. So that's how easy, or how short, or how, so easy the Sunya practice is. So that's my that's how I got to incorporate Sunya into my life, because it was so easy, so so short, so it's free, it's available, and I can, it's just a decision for me also to, and it really really helped me balance my, because I my sister is witness, my family is witness, and maybe some people here on Zoom is witness to how my emotional outbursts, or baliktad, like my emotional caving in is previously. So it also has contributed a lot to my confidence. So that's why I said that Sunya is beyond just resetting my mind. It actually led me to have more choices in my universe instead of a no choice universe. So how did I get so lucky? And yeah, maybe you found this. There's no right or wrong. You found this at just the, the perfect, well, there's no perfect, but maybe the most contributing part of your life. Maybe you started questions, or you asked questions of how to move forward from something, so maybe this is it. And it starts with this, but eventually it starts with your asking and receiving and your deciding or choosing. So what else is possible? And yes, and I think my my voice is starting to hinay na siya. So actually, I'm so happy and excited to be here with you all and to share this, and actually also acknowledging my um, how I found Sunya and how it has contributed to me. And maybe before I end actually did this, so there are Sunya links and programs to support you in your Sunya journey or in your journey in life. So you can actually go to drlimshaojin.com. So I will just show you because it's so awesome. Do you see this? So this is Dr. Lim's page. So see, so pretty. I mean, you can see everything here. It's given already. So there's the Sunya talks here, the herbal talks, the coffee talks, the Shanghan Lun that I haven't seen yet. Oh my gosh, herbology. Oh my gosh, Dr. Lim, so many. It's like, it's free courses, guys. so so just go to drlimshojin.com, and there's also, I don't know what this is, but it's a Chala de Cafe. Hexagenous reflexology also, and we also have Dr. Lim's articles. I think these are what he says are the subs for the videos, so you can see almost everything here. And how did we get so lucky to have such a generous CEO? And another page that you can also look into is the sifworld.com. So this is the Sunyati International Foundation um, page, and this is where most of our, like, what do you call that? Sa companies, they have this initiatives. So this is where the funds go, and this is where you'll find the missions and the, like, the ODOC. It's here. So this is so pretty. So we have a lot. We have like farmer development, women empowerment, internship programs, and personality development. So we have about 5,000 plus volunteers, 500 women empowered, and this program has been with us since 2019. So that's, you can also donate here. So that's part of the Sunyati. And then I found this one. I'm not sure if it's open to all, but I found this on the Facebook page of Sunya, the Global Sunya. And yeah, you can go and search for sunyati.org. So yes, so these are the three main websites for Sunya, and we also have the FB pages. So DX and Sunya is for the global Sunyatis, and Sunya PH is mostly for the Philippine Sunyatis. And we can also add you up to the 7:11 p.m. Um, GC or group chat on Messenger. So just message us if you want to be added there. And then we have the Sunya Sundays. So this usually is at 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. So it's every Sunday. It's just a group Sunya. It's 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And then we also, and the Sunya Sundays is live stream on both the Sunya PH and the XN Fox Tribe, I think, FB page. So that's where you can find us and support you and support each other. No, contribute to each other. That's the more, that's my term. And then, so yeah, this is my ender slide. So I had fun with this. This is the mad me. so so I was, yeah, so that's it. So if you have no more questions, yes, samok daw ko picturean. Yes, I am. Yeah, sometimes when we touch. It's too much. So I think I'll just read some. I think I read some. Okay, from Tito Arman and Tita Merlinda Roa. Yes, we are happy because we are consistent. Yes, consistency is the key. It's 99 to 0. Wow, congratulations. And honoring, acknowledge people and everyone who is choosing to incorporate Sunya into their daily lives and lifestyle. And at the end of this all, I think the point is we become Sunya. That's what uh, Dr. Lim always, I think, says that at the end of the day, the tool becomes us. So we be Sunya everywhere we go. So, hi, Mais. Oh my gosh, she's here. Hi, girl. So, my friends are here. So, yeah, Sunya, Sunya, guys. Now you know. Hello, Tita Tata, for being here, and to the hi, and to the Atilano family. I really had fun with the Tito June is here, right? Ate Daisy, honoring, acknowledge everyone on the Zoom call. Tita Lucille is here. Mais is here. Tita Jenny, Ate Nessa, Maclear, Nessa Malinaw, and Miss Flora Bell Sagot, and Ate Pangging, I miss you. Tita Jenny and Ate Alice. Ate Alice? Who is? Oh, Ate Alice is with Tita Lucille. Oh, yes. Yeah. And who did I not mention? My sister, of course, for always being there. And I think Ate Zai. Oh my God. Ate Zai. Ate Zai and Ate Pangs. Thank you for being here and for learning with me. I'm also learning with you. And actually skip through katong Sunyi and Senyap. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't hear that the first time I watched Dr. Lim. So yes. Yeah, and if it's fun, laughing is fun. Yes. Laughing is and what else did I say about Sonia? I think I stopped the share. And yeah, hi. I think my sister is leaving me. Why are you leaving me?
I'm not leaving.
I know.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Oh, you're here. Okay. I think that's it for my Sunya introduction. And thank you so much for listening.
Wow, thank you so much, our guest, charot guest ba? Our Sunya Council Guide of the in the Philippines, Darlene Suelto. Ayan. So, what else is possible? Thank you for sharing a different way sa intro to Sunya. I really like your slides. It's super clean and neat. Very Sunya. What else is possible? So, yeah, we will be using that for reference in the future. So, for our next sa June, Zai will be the one in charge for Intro to Sunya sa June, and maybe we'll be using your slides. So
No
we will
problem.
be doing a rotation na this time of all our thank you so much, and to all who will be watching this YouTube recording, thank you so much, and practice Sunya, stay in zero always, and actualize peace and prosperity with us. What would it take to create a sustainable living earth in the future? Thank you. Bye bye, everybody. See ya.